Hello, Ray Phoenix here. Welcome to Let's Play Mega Man 5 Part 4. So we're finally going to Proto Man's castle. We're gonna find Proto Man and break him, pretty much, for all this stuff he's done to the world. That's probably why they called him Break Man the first game. Mega Man 3 foreshadowed him becoming a bad guy, where he probably is gonna turn the sky pink or something like that. As you can see in this level, he turned the sky pink. Proto Man must be a pretty powerful adversary if he can change the color of the sky and make it the unnatural synthesized pink color. Castles in the background. Yeah, he must have. Why is it that these Mega Man villains always seem to have castles? They always seem to be in territories of other castles. I mean, Dr. Wily had a lot of castles like that. And so did Dr. Gozak. They all had castles. They all had major big castles and castle-y areas. I guess Proto Man's just following the trend. He's copying what they did because Proto Man is a very unoriginal villain. He is a very unoriginal villain. Capcom just needed a new villain, so they thought, let's just take this shady, mysterious figure we've had in the previous games. Let's just randomly make him a villain out of the blue. Yeah, we have a really good idea for a villain there. It's a perfectly good villain. Mega Man's older brother. Brothers fighting each other. Like a battle of the heroes kind of deal. That's kind of what they were going for. Only Proto Man's not a hero. He's a villain in this game. He clearly is for all the destruction of the world he's doing. And this version of Rush Coil, this odd version of Rush Coil, actually is a bit more beneficial than how Rush Coil was in the past two Mega Man games, where you could actually ride him up to somewhere. You could sit on almost any kind of surface, even spikes. You could ride up to somewhere and allows Mega Man to jump off easier. And it's like, so you can have a platform almost for Mega Man to jump off and get onto a higher platform. It actually works pretty good, actually, a lot of the time. And we're going to be, now that we've saved up quite a few E-Tanks and getting through this level, it's now time before we put our E-Tanks to good use, because this is why we've been saving them up. We'll be needing a lot of E-Tanks to get through these Proto Man stages. This is the first Proto Man stage. It's already quite a big challenge. And we're going to find the Mega Buster, the fully charged Buster Shots, are actually quite beneficial for a lot of parts of these levels, actually, in terms of because the charge shot is that covers a wider range, which actually is beneficial in a lot of ways, especially those ground enemies there. Unless you want to use a water wave on them, but that's kind of useless. Using the fully charged shots is actually more efficient, I think. Do you think? So it's like charge shots really do serve a purpose in this game. They're not as useless as I thought they were in the earlier parts. And look at that, another one-up. Those missiles they drop, you can shoot them, and look at that, another one-up. This game's still, we're in Proto Man's castle already, and the game is still throwing one-ups at us. We already got so many one-ups. We're having a big monopoly on one-ups in this level. In this Proto Man's castle, yeah, maybe Proto Man does care for his brother after all. Maybe Proto Man's trying to send a secret message to us or something like that. There's this annoying mech walker thing, this mech warrior, or then there's Mech Warrior, where it's Ronald McDonald driving some giant mech that shoots, I don't know, it would shoot grease, like fryer grease at guys or something like that. Yeah, they could use that against Mega Man for sure. When's Ronald McDonald gonna be a villain in these future Mega Man games? So as you see, this is never one of those. This is never one of those classic reappearing, disappearing block puzzles, but I never bother with these, as I could just use the Rush Jet to get over them. And this part's a little bit confusing too, but we could use Rush Coil here. See, Rush Coil is kind of hard there, but see, Rush does not get killed by spikes. Just put him on there. We could form another platform and jump onto there. Look, it's easy as that. Just use Rush Coil, and you start off the game with Rush Coil too. And it's impossible to get to these levels without having Rush, because you automatically get the Rush components from beating certain levels in the game. Same with that arrow shot thing. The arrow shot thing could be useful with some of these parts, but using Rush, I think, is a lot easier. It's not like the Magnet Beam in Mega Man 1 where it's hidden somewhere and you don't know it's there or something like that. The only hidden things you can find in this game are those letters that spell Mega Man 5. Which we have all those, so we have Beat the Bird, unlocked Mega Man's pet bird, which we will be using. Oh, look at this, it's Dark Man. There's a lot of these Dark Man robots in this game. Proto Man, there seem to be like the top of the top guards that work for Proto Man, or maybe a creation of Proto Man. Robots building robots. That's what we've come down to. The robot society is so advanced that robots could build other killer robots. That's Proto Man probably built his own army of old robots. Maybe that's where the robot masters in this game came from. It never really says where the origin of the robot masters are from this game. Did Proto Man build them? Did Proto Man get someone to build them? Did Proto Man hire a contractor or something like that? And how did he build this whole fortress? Was it left over from something before? Was it like a leftover fortress that Dr. Wily intended to use but never did? I wonder where Dr. Wily is in this game. I think he escaped to the last game, I remember. We never actually saw him again after that time he escaped. I don't even know where he is actually in this game. Where is Dr. Wily? Is he taking a vacation? Does he realize now that he can't beat Mega Man, so he thought he'd get a better job? A more reasonable job for him, like maybe working at McDonald's and taking orders or something like that? Or maybe he built some kind of robot to make the service at McDonald's more efficient. And so some more times the R coil, the rush coil, is very useful. Mostly used up our water wave from that one boss. So have to be refilling, getting energy. But energy is really common, it's really abundant in this level, and say just as lives are abundant. And now we can get through this part easy using Starman's weapon. Starman's weapon is actually one of the better weapons in this game, simply because it's a shield. It's not a great shield. I think Woodman's weapon may have been a little bit better, I don't remember. I know it's not the best shield in the game, because look at that, just one hit and it goes away. What kind of shield is that? Okay, it's a light layer protection. I'll give it credit for that. It does prevent us from getting damaged by those flying enemies everywhere. So I'll give it credit for that. But some of these flying enemies are so hard to hit. You have to like jump really high, and they're such a small target. Even for the charge shot, they're a small target. But then again, they constantly run around. And they're gonna hit you a lot, which will make you lose your charge shot. And there's those train things again. Yeah, there's a lot. Proto Man seems to have a thing for trains too. Maybe Proto Man did build Charge Man after all. Maybe Proto Man choreographed everything that's happened up to this point. So use the Rush Jet to fly, but it's part of the primitive Rush Jet. This game had Mega Man 3's Rush Jet. This would be a lot easier, but oh no, they give us Mega Man 4's Rush Jet because Rush Jet was way too overpowered in Mega Man 3. And these things are like little conveyor belts we could jump off of, we could roll on them and jump off them. And there's these crystal enemies again. It's like they've recycled all the enemies from the regular Robot Master levels in the game and just threw them all as well, which isn't that bad of an idea considering the fact that this game definitely did have a unique variety of some of the most challenging, or I guess what's challenging for these standards, enemies we could come across. Challenging meaning we just kill them easy with a few non-charged buster shots, rapid fire shots, because pretty much all robots in this game are weak against plasma shots. I don't think there are any regular enemies yet that are immune to Mega Man's plasma shot. So far, the only real boss we ever come across in the Mega Man franchise is the final boss of Mega Man 2. He could only get killed by the Bubble Man's weapon in Mega Man 2. Buster shots do nothing against him. They're completely useless against him. So there are such things as enemies in the Mega Man franchise that are immune to Buster shots. They could have done stuff like that in this game, I think. And the challenge, this level, it really would have increased the challenge factor of this level. But most of the time, we just use the Buster shots. And unless you like, being extra cautious, then use the Starman's shield or something like that. Most of the time, you're going to forget that other weapons exist in this game because of how little you're going to actually be using them. It's like you only remember they exist when you get to a boss fight or something. That's the same opposed to the Robot Master levels. It's like the weapons might as well not exist unless you get to the boss. And the game generously gave us an E-Tank and some health. You can use an arrow here, or you just use Rush Jet, which I actually find a little bit easier. There, we got some more 1-ups to compensate for all those lives we've lost. But then again, we're making a lot more lives than we're losing, so... Yeah, and then there's these jumping things that we saw in Starman's stage, these jumping things, those things. I imagine that their heads would have padding on them, and look at that, another 1-up. Why am I not surprised? It's always 1-ups. What else would they give you? Energy? Health, like what they constantly did in Mega Man 1? Would they constantly give you... Ooh, yeah, there's some energy there. Use it on Star Crash, yeah, because of course there's gonna be a boss gauntlet at the end of this game, because all the previous Mega Man games have boss gauntlets at the end of them, so why would this be an exception? So that's why you better have all of our weapons filled, because the bosses in this game actually are quite challenging. The Robot Masters are quite challenging if you don't have their weaknesses, but we have all their weaknesses. We have all the weapons in the game, so the boss gauntlet shouldn't be much of a challenge then, because you saw how wimpy they all were. We went through the first time around, and I'm sure they might be a little bit more challenging, but they're still weak against their respective weaknesses, which we have all of that now too, so none of the Robot Masters should be a challenge the second time around. Same with the other boss in this game. Pretty much every boss in this game has a weakness of some kind, and they always seem to, and they're even less imaginative, the bosses in this game, because we keep having to fight different variations of Darkman. Darkman, he looks like an evil, demented version of the robot from Lost in Space. He looks like something that would be saying, "Danger, Will Robinson!" Yeah, or something like that. So this guy has a shield. Yeah, this guy's a little bit more innovative because they gave him a shield. Yeah, this guy must be a bit more important. Maybe he's a tactical droid or something like that for Proto Man, I don't know. But his shield thing keeps rotating around, which can easily be destroyed by us just throwing the N-bombs at him. You shoot N-bomb there, N-bomb that. He doesn't even jump. It's really easy to jump over him. He's a wuss. He's a pushover. He doesn't even try to jump. He doesn't even make an effort. It's like he knows he's gonna get killed. So he probably just figures, why bother? Mega Man's been through a lot. Why bother? I missed in another uneventful Mega Man game that no one's gonna remember. This is Ray Phoenix, signing out.